Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You know I'm excited for this one. There she is. This is the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary. Oh, this is going to be a tongue twister for me to say. This is the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary palette, which arrived at my doorstep, I want to say about a week ago. And like I promised on Instagram and in one of my previous videos as well, I'm going to do a 3 looks collab video with Amber today for you, so you're going to see 3 different tutorials using this palette. We've done this already for the Heavy Metals palette from Urban Decay and the Saint and Sinner from Kat Von D, so if you're interested in those videos, I'm going to try not to forget to link those in the description box below for you. But before we start with the actual makeup looks, I wanted to throw in my 2 cents about the palette. First of all, this is the packaging that it comes in. It has this like super yellow gold packaging. The names of the shades are written on the back, and then on the front you have Kat Von D's art. I have a few thoughts about the packaging. I heard somebody else on YouTube say this, and then when I showed it to my husband he said the same thing. The girl on YouTube as well as my husband both said that the artwork looks like a bad printout and it's super pixelated and it's not at the quality that you would expect it to be. That being said, I don't know whether this is what the intention was. Maybe the intention was that it's going to look like this. Personally, I'm not super bothered by the fact that the image is a little bit pixelated and not super sharp, because maybe that was the idea, I don't know. What bothers me the most is actually the super yellow gold packaging, because let me just show you. Whoa, went too far. First of all, I'm not a super huge fan of yellow gold and gold in general. I am not a gold lover, but this is also the packaging that the palette came in, and you can see that compared to this is much more of a subdued gold. So if that was the gold on the palette itself, I think I would have liked it even better, because this is super yellow, like almost like kitschy yellow, which is the only thing I don't like about the packaging, because otherwise it feels very hefty. Like I said, the printout doesn't bother me as much. Let's go on to the insides of the palette. So these are the shades that the palette comes with. You can see that there is a variety of really colorful shades. There's a beautiful duochrome here, there's this gorgeous green shade, there's a bunch of mattes. If you're familiar with Kat Von D's formula, this is pretty much on par with the Metal Matte palette as well as the Saint and Sinner palette. Personally, I really like the color story here. You can create a variety of really beautiful looks with this. The mattes are an absolute delight to work with, and they are kind of the majority of the shades in here. I really enjoy this military green here, the navy blue over here, the orangey shades, that brick red over here, absolutely stunning. The mattes of Kat Von D, and especially in this palette, I feel like they're even better than the ones in the Metal Matte and the Saint and Sinner palette. The shimmers, like the metallic shades, they're what you would expect of a Kat Von D palette. Kat Von D's metallic shades are never super like, they don't pack a punch and they're not super glittery. They're very smooth and they're very creamy when you apply them, but they don't like really pack reflective metallic punch, which is fine. The only 2 super glittery shades she's ever made were the ones in the Saint and Sinner palette, the 2 top shades. But for the rest, these metallics are pretty much on par with what was in the Saint and Sinner palette. I'm not going to compare to the Metal Matte, because in the Metal Matte palette you had the Metal Crush formula, and these are not the Metal Crush formula. That being said, they're beautiful, pigmented and creamy and super easy to work with. You can either use them dry or you can use them wet. I prefer to use them over a glitter glue because, like I said before, I prefer to get the best out of my metallic shades. Now, without further ado, I'm just going to jump into the tutorials. I hope you're going to enjoy the 3 looks that I created with it, and let's get started. So now we're going to start with our first look with the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary palette, and I want to mention one thing though. This is the very first time I'm using the palette myself, so look at all the pretty colors though. I'm going to try not to blind you too much. Hopefully you can see it without really seeing too much of the rest of my ambiance here. But this is a very colorful palette, so it's very difficult for someone like me to choose what to do. So I might get a little greedy and carried away, which I apologize for. But we're for sure going for like a blue-green look, because as soon as I open the palette, this green right here, yes, it needs to go on my eyeballs today. So the first shade I'm going to dig into is this orangey shade right here, and I'm going to put that through the inner part of my crease, because I just like that thing where I put different colors in my crease. So that's gonna go right here. Interesting, that shade is going on a little bit more orange and a little bit less camel than I expected, because in the pen it has a little bit of like this camel yellow tinge to it, but when you put it on the eyes it looks mostly orange. I mean, I don't mind, I really dig orange, but just so you know, what's going on my eyeballs is slightly different in tone than what's in the shadow palette. I'm going to leave it at this for now. The next shade I'm going to dip into is this beautiful olive khaki type of green, because I really dig shades like this, and I'm so happy she made a shade like this and put it in this palette. I think the color selection and just the types of shades she picked for this palette speak to me on so many levels. So digging into that khaki green shade and going to start. Oh, okay. Oh, that's pigmented. Alrighty. I'm going to start building that up here in the outer part of my eye and bringing it up very lightly upwards towards the crease area, but shearing it out as I go up. Okay, one thing that I'm always really happy about is that Kat Von D always includes brow bone highlight matte shades in her palettes. So I'm going to dig into this shade over here, which looks like a brow bone highlight shade. So that's gonna go exactly where you expect it to, right here. Oh yeah, that works very nicely as a brow bone highlight, at least on my skin tone. And it's not as chalky as her other brow bone highlight shades. Normally her brow bone highlight shades, both in the Metal Matte and in the Saint and Sinner, are really chalky. But this one has a very smooth and nice texture to it. The next shade I'm going to go into is going to be this navy blue-green shade over here. It looks absolutely stunning. That's going to go in like the outer part of the eye, and I think I'm going to take it halfway into my lid and proceed from there. Oh, that's so pretty. Whoa, good job, Kat Von D. The woman never disappoints. And she's pregnant too, so I feel like we're, you know, pregnancy buddies. She's, I think, a little bit further along than I am because she already knows the gender of the baby. But that being said, I still feel connected to her. Okay, definitely take this like towards the middle of the eyelid. Wow. Wow. I don't know whether you guys can see how beautiful these shades are. God damn. Okay, going back with my fluffy blender here to just, you know, blend the green and the blue a little bit better here in my deep crease area situation. The next thing I'm going to do is the usual spiel. I'm going to take Notoriously Morbid's Shadow Bind, which is a glitter glue base. So as usual, so the usual disclaimer, I always apply some sort of a sticky base or glitter base for my metallic eyeshadows, because I feel like that's how they perform the best. And yeah, just so you are aware of that. I'm not going to put any of the metallics dry on my lid, so if you want to see that action, then you're going to have to look somewhere else, because I don't do that. Alright. And now I'm going to dip my greedy finger into this beautiful green over here, which I can't wait to dip my finger into. And then over top of the navy blue, to marry the shades a bit better, I think I'm going to put that duochrome shade. But let's just first put the green and see how that goes. By the way, I'm using my finger for that. Holy moly. Oh man. Yeah, this is a bit like a first impressions video, dudes. At least this first look. Now I'm going to dip just a little bit into that duochrome shade with the blue sparkles, and I'm going to layer that a bit over the navy blue and into the green, just so the textures are not too different. I'm going to go back into the navy blue just a tiny bit, and I'm going to intensify it right here in the outer corner. The thing is, if you ask me, I really want to put that orangey shade. Not sure it's going to go well with this look, but hey, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to cover it with something else. Okay, for my inner corners, if I find my fucking brush. Okay, for my inner corner, I'm going to take this shade over here, which is like a light peachy orange with pink sparkles in it, and I'm going to apply that right here. Okay, so I wasn't feeling that orange in the inner corner, so I dipped into the Kat Von D Alchemist palette, and more specifically into this shade over here, which is called Green Emerald, and that is going to be my inner corner because I just don't feel like any of the shades in the 10-year anniversary palette really work well as inner corners highlights for that green shade. Oh, that looks much better. Okay, I'm going to wing a liner, and for that purpose I'm going to use my Zoeva gel liner in the shade... in the shade After Hours. Doesn't matter. It is a gorgeous shade of like a dark teal, and I feel like it will work really well with this look. I am going to probably just, you know, speed through that as usual, because you've seen me do my eyeliner like 100 million times. On the lower lash line, I'm going to put first a very bright, well, like a royal blue pencil as a base. And then, not at all surprisingly, I'm going to apply this super beautiful blue shade over here over top of the pencil. Just going to take a little smudger type of brush, very carefully apply the eyeshadow in the waterline over top of the pencil. Okay, to make my life complete, I'm going to take the Urban Decay Heavy Metals glitter liner in the shade Distortion, and I'm going to apply that right there in that cut crease place. So I'm basically going to cut the crease a little bit with this glitter liner, just so my life is complete and there is glitter in the look. So you can just use the green eyeshadow as a guide where to put the glitter liner, and, you know, try to stick to the crease and not, like me, you know, spastically put it everywhere. Also, be careful not to blink for a little bit, just until the glitter liner dries. And you can apply several coats if you want it to be more intense, or you can leave it to be very, you know, subtle. I don't do subtle, so we're going to put a lot of glitter. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, and I really feel like the glitter liner tied it all together, but so far I'm extremely pleased with the quality of these shades. Just love it. So guys, this was my first look with the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary palette. Stay tuned for 2 more looks coming. So guys, for the second look, I think I'm going to go with some of the warmer shades, because I feel like I really need to dip into this beautiful terracotta brick red here. I definitely want to try this shade here because it seems like my kind of shade, and we're just going to dip into a little bit of those mattes here, so let's see how that goes. Maybe we're going to go for a little bit like a halo action today. But to start the look off with, I'm going to grab a fluffy blender and I'm going to go into this sort of pastel yellow here and see how that goes on. Probably it goes on nicely, but let's just give it a try. Okay, that is exactly the color that I was expecting to. Before I proceed with the rest of the crease, I'm just going to apply the Brow Bone highlight shade, the same one that I used yesterday. I'm not even going to show you because what's the point? Now I'm going to take a more like a defined crease brush. This is one of my favorite crease brushes. It is the Lux Defined Crease 3-5, no, what's the number of this? 224 from Zoeva. Then I'm going to dip into this orange over here. And that, oops, wrong orange. And that orange is going to go right here in the crease. Blend it upwards towards that yellow we laid earlier, but basically start building up that orange shade into the deeper crease area. And these shades blend out so fast you don't even have to work all that much for it. I'm going to take a petite crease brush from Zoeva and I'm going to dip into this beautiful shade right here. And I'm probably going to deepen it a little bit with this brown. But for now we're just going to dip into the brick red and start applying that in the outer and inner part of the eye. Right here and right here. You can lightly connect the two, but like very lightly, just so you don't lose that beautiful orange we put down earlier. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade of red. You know how Love Plus can be very intimidating? This is like Love Plus, but it has a bit more of those terracotta tones to it, so it's not as intimidating. So I feel like for a lot of people who are afraid of red but would like to try red, this would be the perfect shade of red to go with. You are happy with this as it is, you can also leave it like this. To be honest with you, I'm also the time would also leave it as it is because I don't want to mess with the beautiful red tones so much. But I am going to take a little pencil brush and I'm going to dip into that brown and we're going to put it but only towards the outer part of the eye. So the inner part will remain just that red, but here in the very deep crease I'm going to fluff a little bit of that brown. It's a very dark brown, so be light-handed with it, not like me. Right here. And I am going to go over top of that again with the red just to bring a bit of that red back, because quite frankly the only purpose of that brown is to give more drama and definition, not to change the tone of the eyeshadow. So now I'm going to go back into the red and just apply a little bit over top of the brown, just in case, you know, you don't want to lose the red tones. I'm just going to take a little flat brush like this and I'm going to spritz it with Fix Plus. And then I'm going to dip into this orangey pink duo right here and apply that over the bare space that we left on the lid. Right here. And you can apply the most product in the center and then use whatever is left. Even flip your brush if you want to apply towards the edges. Once again, I'm hesitating what to do with my inner corners because I don't feel like there is a very good like inner corner highlight shade. So I am going to dip into the gold here, this one right here. And if I feel like it's too stark, I might apply a little bit of the Brow Bone highlight shade over top to tone it down. But for now we're going to apply that gold right here as an inner corner highlight, because I wouldn't know what else to put in there anyway. And It is a little bit darker than I want my inner corner highlight to be. So I think I'm going to go into one of the lighter shades and just try to tone that down. It's pretty much what we got going on right now. I'm still not very happy with the inner corner. I still feel like it's just a bit too dark for my taste. I am going to leave it like this for now, and maybe later when I apply my highlighter I'm going to pop a little bit of that in the inner corners, because I'm not sure I dig this much. I'm going to take this NYX Vivid Brights liner in the shade, I want to say this is Vivid Halo. Is it? Yeah, this is Vivid Halo, the yellow one. And we're going to try to apply this right here again, over top of that pop of orange yellow, to cut the crease only in the middle. Let's conform, you know, everyone on YouTube is doing it, so I should as well. Alright. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Right here. So over top I'm going to apply a little bit of Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay, one of the heavy metal glitter liners, just to make it a bit sparkly, like so. And you know, to cover up a little bit of the texture of the yellow liner, because those tend to crack a little bit on me. My husband's not a fan of these cut crease glitter liner types of things, so I'm going to get comments about this, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to grab my Essence Hot Chocolate liner pencil, and I'm just going to use that to tight line here in the roots of my lashes. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take Delirious from Urban Decay, one of the 24/7 liners, and I'm going to pop that on my lower lash line, because we're going to do purple on the lower lash line. The last shade we're going to dip into obviously is going to be this purple right here, which looks absolutely beautiful, and that's going to go over top of the purple pencil liner on the lower lash line. So right here. This is not a very groundbreaking color combination, but we're going for like a red, gold, purple look today, because I'm feeling it. Because also I want to try as many of the shades as possible in this video. So it got freakishly dark outside, so I really hope that you can clearly see the eyeshadow look. Like I said, if you're more skilled at that cut crease type of situation, you can probably achieve a much more sophisticated and, you know, precise look, but like I said, I'm not very skilled there. Just so you know, guys, like I said, I wasn't very happy with the inner corner, so I decided to pop a little bit of this shade here from, this shade here from the Saint and Sinner palette, which is called Absolution, and it's kind of like a glittery white-based gold. So I popped a little bit of that on the inner corner because, like I said, I feel like one of the things that's definitely missing for me personally in the 10-year anniversary palette is a clear, like, inner corner highlight shade. I feel like all of the shades, except for the two brighter mattes, so the Brow Bone highlight one and this one, would be too dark for me personally, and I don't like to apply matte shades as my inner corner highlights. So I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. I still absolutely love this palette and the looks that I've created with it so far. I mean, it's only been 2 looks, but I think I can claim with fair certainty that I like it, because at this point I've used most of the shades actually. Anyway, this was my second look with the 10-year anniversary palette from Kat Von D. Stay tuned for the third and final look. So guys, for my final look I actually want to do something really simple, because the video already is 20 minutes long. I already like pasted together the first 2 tutorials and they're already 20 minutes long, so I'm going to shut up and just start. I'm going to do something simple involving this shade here, this duochrome, because I just need to put this duochrome on my eyeballs. I need to try it together with you, and I'm going to start with this grayish shade over here, which might be a mistake because I don't generally look that great with these kind of shades, but we're gonna give it a try. Maybe it looks better than I thought. I'm grabbing it on a fluffy blender like this, and I'm basically going to start applying this all over my lid, and then bringing it up into the crease. I'm going to highlight my brow bone with the Brow Bone Highlight shade, just so everything blends out a bit better. I'm going to bring it down towards the gray. We're going to build up a little bit more of the gray in a bit. I'm going to fluff a little bit more of that gray here towards the brow bone, just so it's nice and smoky. Then I'm going to take a somewhat smaller brush. This is like a Luxe Petite Crease, also from Zoeva, and I'm going back into that very same color, but I'm going to start intensifying it here towards the outer part of the eye. And I'm going to mix in actually just a tiny bit of this blue shade here, the navy blue, just because I feel like it would fit very nicely with the duochrome we're going to lay down in a bit. Since there is the gray already, this is not going to come out through the color obviously, but it's just to give a little bit of a hint of that shade. Okay, next I'm going to grab glitter glue from Darling Girl Cosmetics and I'm going to apply that all over my lid. Just FYI, yesterday evening I ordered the Dream Glow kit from Anastasia and I'm so excited. I hope it's here by the end of the week, so that I can immediately smear it all over my face. Also, very interesting, I forgot to add that to my wishlist when I was doing my wishlist before, but I have ordered one of the eyeshadow palettes from Juvia's Place because I've heard so much about them and they're like super colorful. I'm going to stick my finger into this duochrome shade, by the way, and just put it all over my lid over the glitter glue. So that should be in by the end of the week as well. And then I'm going to do, I think, a first impressions video, just do a look and share how I am experiencing the Juvia's palette, just because I'm so curious about it. People are going bananas, losing their shit over Juvia's Place eyeshadows, and I just had to jump on the train and find out what the big deal is all about. Okay, just FYI, this is a really beautiful shade. Okay, this time I'm not even going to pretend like there is a highlight shade for the inner corner that's even remotely suitable for the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to just grab my Alchemist palette again from Kat Von D, so at least we're sticking to Kat Von D. And I'm going to brighten up those inner corners with this shade here, which is Blue Sapphire. Yes, that does it much better for me. Not even going to pretend like there's any other option. So I said I wasn't going to make things complicated, but we're going to just do one teeny tiny thing that may be a little bit more complicated because I just really want to try. And that is going to be... Let me find a brush. So I'm going to take a wing liner brush. I'm going to spritz that with Fix Plus and I'm going to dip into the purple here and try to wing a liner with that. So just taking Fix Plus, spraying my brush generously, and then I'm going to go like on either side of the shadow, just so there's a particular spot where I've wet the brush with Fix Plus and dug into the eyeshadow, and I'm going to try to make a liner with that. Never tried that technique. Normally I use whatchamacallit, I use Duraline, and Duraline works just fine, but I was thinking, can Can I try this? I've seen other people do it and it seems to work for them, so why wouldn't it work for me? Okay, there isn't much of a contrast, but that's fine. We're not going for contrast today, we're just kind of playing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a little more difficult than just going in with doodle line. I feel like I constantly need to spritz the brush because it just dries out too quickly. So while this works, you can totally make it work. I feel like it would be a little bit easier if I would go in just with a droplet of doodle line. Okay, keeping in with like the dark purple eyeliner theme, I'm going to throw in some heavy metal glitter liner from Urban Decay. This one is in the This one is in the shade Sticks and Bones, and it was actually a present from one of you lovely subscribers. Thank you so much, you know how much I love these. And we're going to pop this right here over top of the wing, just so we get some extra glitter. Because as you all know by now, my life is not complete without glitter. Okay, I said I wasn't going to do anything complicated, and here I am drawing wings with doodle line, with Fix Plus. Anyway, I'm going to take the Delirious pencil from Urban Decay to Tight Line, and then I'm going to do a layer of this Catrice Kohl pencil in God knows what shade, it's just a blue. I'm going to pop that on my waterline and lower lash line, and on top of that I'm going to go in with the navy blue shade again. And taking that navy blue shade and applying it over top, right here. So guys, this is pretty much the final look. I think that smoky purpley blue duochrome is absolutely gorgeous. I think the liner turned out pretty okay, so if you don't have doodle line, you can definitely use Fix Plus to foil the metallics to make eyeliner out of them. That being said, there's not much more to say about this look. I hope you enjoy it. So guys, those were my 3 looks with the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary palette. I really hope you enjoyed the 3 looks that I created with it. I think there's so much more that you can do with these colors, just because, I don't know, I think there are just so many different and beautiful colors in this palette, and you can definitely pair it with a bunch of other palettes. I'm not going to repeat myself too much from the intro. Like I said, I like the palette. Please don't forget to check out Amber's video. She's going to have 3 different looks for you with this palette. Hopefully you will enjoy both of our videos, and as usual, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!